Hey there, Westside. It's Nick, your Western District Vice President for Kappa Kappa Psi. I hope that your month of musicianship is going well so far. The baton has been passed to me to give you a little insight into my musical history. But before I do that, if you haven't checked out Kate's video yet, you definitely should. She has an awesome story to tell you, as well as information on why we're putting these videos together in the first place. So I definitely recommend you go and check that out. But if you have already, or you want to start with mine and then work your way on to hers, then I will go ahead and get started. So my first experience with music was when I was really young. My mom would take me, my brother, and my sister to church every Sunday, and we'd go and sing along with the hymns and things like that. And I now am eternally grateful for that experience, that foundation, because as an instrumentalist, I don't sing that much, but being able to have that sort of experience there in case I need to, or for my classes, or for things like that, I am able to do it a lot more comfortably than some instrumentalists are able to do it. But I'll get back to my collegiate career. Let's go back to when I was younger. So my mom and dad didn't play an instrument. They would only just do the singing either with church CDs or the radio. I get a lot of my instrumental influence from my brother and my sister. My sister is 4 years older than me, and she started piano around her fourth grade years. So she would play in the house, things like that, practice in the house, and she played that all the way through high school. She eventually joined her high school's percussion section and the community college percussion section. And being 4 years older than me, I got to see a lot of her concerts at a young age and just kind of experience what bands sounded like and things like that. My brother is only 1 year older than me, so I kind of experienced a lot with him, but he was always like my sneak preview into what I was going to get into next. Like my fourth grade year, when we were playing recorder, or about to learn recorder, he taught me how to play hot cross buttons about 2 weeks before everyone else learned how to play it, before they even touched a recorder, so I felt pretty cool for that. But again, it only lasted about 2 weeks, and then everyone knew how to play hot cross buttons, so then we were all on like the same playing field. But the next year in fifth grade, we got to choose what band instrument we wanted to play. So I picked clarinet. My brother played flute and saxophone, so I didn't want to play the same thing as him. And I picked clarinet mainly because I thought it would play a lot similar, a lot like the recorder, but I quickly found out that that is not the case. They are both their own instrument and their own beasts, so the difference was pretty apparent very quickly. But even though clarinet is now my primary, I wouldn't have actually said it was my primary back then. I did start to take a couple of piano lessons with the help of my sister, teaching me how to read bass clef and things like that, but that only lasted about 2 years around that time. But my 7th and 8th grade year, I started playing tenor saxophone for an early morning jazz band. My music director at my middle school convinced me that to try to give that transition a shot. He knew how the transition between clarinet and saxophone worked and how I would be able to do it. I didn't know at the time, but once I found out how the saxophone worked, it eventually worked itself out, and I was able to noodle my way through the jazz band, at least the charts that we played. So I did take saxophone as my primary into high school for about the first semester of high school. My freshman year, I considered saxophone my primary instrument, but my teacher knew that I played clarinet, and the saxophone section was fine and had enough numbers, but the clarinet section needed more, so she actually asked if I could go back to clarinet, and I was, more than happy to. I was just wanting to, do whatever I could for the band and things like that. So I switched back to clarinet and considered that my primary when it came to like bands and things like that. But when I got to my junior year of high school, my brother was my ride to school, so he wanted to do the zero period jazz band that started at 7, and I had the choice of either walking to school closer to 8 o'clock or going with him and sitting and either sitting for an hour doing nothing or sitting and playing in the band with him. And so when I talked to the band director, I asked, oh, what can I play? he said, why don't you give bari sax a try? And I was like, oh, no, fine, okay, that'd be different. So I gave it a shot, and I actually really enjoyed playing bari sax in jazz band. I was fortunate enough my senior year to play an arrangement of Sophisticated Lady that we took to Disneyland and played there at their like Carnation Plaza thing. And I got to play it, and I didn't exactly solo. I kind of just read the notes on the page, so I cheated in a sense. But nonetheless, it was a really gratifying experience, and I was really happy to be able to do that with my high school jazz band. So when I applied to college, I applied as a clarinet player, and that kind of became my primary through that reinforcement of applying with it. It was definitely the strongest instrument that I could play, but I was kind of just like, when it came to picking an instrument and kind of picking an emphasis and things like that. But I applied as a music education major with clarinet, and my collegiate career has been definitely an experience when it comes to music. I've been able to play bari sax again in a couple of jazz bands. I've played a couple of musicals and things like that in high school as well, but also in college where I've had to play bari sax, tenor sax, clarinet, things like that. I've been able to play bass clarinet, which was something new for me, even though I played clarinet basically all my 5th through 12th grade. I never actually played any other ones besides E-flat clarinet. So being able to experience bass clarinet and even alto clarinet for the first time was something brand new for me and definitely really fun. In marching band, we don't march flutes or clarinets at San Jose State, so I marched tenor sax, which was a really fun experience. I did that for 3 years, and then I did cheerleading for a year, and now I'm back in the band, and I'm fortunate enough to be San Jose State University's Spartan Marching Band's drum major. That sounded like a shameless plug, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I am fortunate enough to be in that leadership position, and I'm really happy that everything that I've done has kind of led up to that experience and just this whole collegiate experience altogether. But yeah, so that's kind of a brief glimpse into my musical history. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I think Kate said this, but go ahead and like share with each other what your musical histories are. It's probably going to be either surprising or expected, either how similar or how different some of your experiences are. But yeah, so definitely, find out, and again, go check out Kate's video and check out the other district officer videos as they come out. I know I will, because it's a really cool experience for me to kind of learn about how other people got involved in music and how it kind of happened for them. But yeah, have a great rest of the month of musicianship, and I hope to see you all soon. All right.